Okay, hello. I don't know if let's see. I got my chat up here. I also need to pull up chat over here just so I could see everything. Let's see. Do. Good morning, everybody. Hello, Ramboozled. How are you? I am a marshmallow brain, okay? This is episode number 2, Probing with Geena. And hold on. Oh my god. There we go. It's episode number 2, and I am so fortunate that Djarii has agreed to come and talk to us. Now, I'm really excited because she is one of the first people I ever saw do body paints on Twitch. So, like, for me, um, she was a lot of creative inspiration. So I think it's pretty cool that she's coming to talk. And I just so happen to fuck up the time difference. So that's my bad. So thank you, Djarii, for adjusting your schedule a little bit for us. I'm so happy that you're gonna be here. I know she's waiting in the lobby. She's already ready to talk to us. So, basically, welcome to Probing with Geena. Um, I talk with my hands a lot. I should probably stop doing that. But really, I just want to dive into the minds of other creators, learn about what drives their passion, what inspires them to create. I think that's really interesting because everybody has a different method. I feel like different things inspire them, different things drive them to create. So I am really excited for this, not gonna lie. Good morning, Gabby. How are you? I'm well. I saw the post about Djarii being here today, so I'm happy to meet you through this. Hello. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming through. I'm so excited. So I'm using a program called Riverside. It's still a bit new to me, but it's really good. It's been really good anyway. So I'm going to let Djarii in. I'm pretty sure I can as the producer as well. Okay, here we go. I hope she can hear me. Hello!
Hi!
How are you?
I'm good, I'm just like browsing on the internet, like shopping. When I'm shopping, I'm like, oh, I hear a voice. Hello!
What are you shopping for?
Oh my gosh, I'm like 20 tabs deep into League of Legends cosplays right now.
Oh, are you still playing League? Like I know you play League, and what are some other games that you play? I mean, I guess really
I actually don't play League, ironically. I play Valorant mostly, but World of Warcraft is the game that most people know me to play.
Oh, okay.
But at the moment, I am so addicted to Valorant. But I just love the League of Legends characters. So I'm like, oh, I have to get cosplays for League of Legends, even though I don't really play it, and I haven't played it since like I was maybe 14 years old.
Oh wow, like a long time ago.
It's been a hell of a long time, but I'm like, the characters are so cute.
They are. I'm not
So
super familiar with them, but any character that's got like, because they have big personas, right, based on their looks. So I feel like that's definitely a cosplayer's kind of dream,
right? And also, just the girls are just so cute, just so cute. So really, sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes you just need really hot girls.
This is also true. Just somebody really sexy to dress
right.
up.
So sometimes you just need to have a moment.
It's funny you say that.
As a hot girl.
A friend of mine was like, "You should totally cosplay as Zero too," and I was like, "I don't even know who that is." Right? And they were like, "Trust me when I say your fans will love it," and I'm like, I still have him, but it's on my list anyway.
Right,
so.
But we have a lot of cosplays in common. Actually, we've done a few of the same ones in our body painting.
Yes, I'm so excited to talk about the body paint. So Djarii, it's Djarii, right? I've been
Djarii
pronouncing the D a little bit, so I apologize for that.
My name, honestly, it's so stupid. If I had known that I would like pop off with this name and that people would struggle to pronounce it as much as they do, I would have not chosen this name. I didn't.
What does it mean?
So it's not like it's kind of a weird story. It's not like it means necessarily anything. It's a name that somebody had on a World of Warcraft character that I saw when I was like, I don't know, 14 years old again or something. And I saw the name and I've like put it in the back of my head and not really thought about it much. I just saw that somebody had a World of Warcraft character with this name. And you know, flash forward, I'm 20 years old and I'm making my Twitch account, and I was like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna name it this name that I still remember in the back of my head. But then the weird thing happens is that I go to like a gaming event in Germany, like a dream hack, but it was in Germany. And
Okay.
some guy comes up to me and he's like, I have to talk to you. And so many of my friends say that I'm like a fanboy of you because we have the same name. And I was like, no
Oh.
way, really? And he's like, yeah, but I've had this name since TBC and World of Warcraft. And I was like, hang on a second. Are you so and so and so and so on this server and this guild? And he was like, how do you know me? And I was like, my guy,
Oh
I
my
took your
god!
name. I took your name.
You
Like,
actually
how
met
crazy?
the person,
Right?
yes.
How, like, what are the chances that that happens, by the way? And he was like, how do you know me? How do you, like, and I guess I've just collected this information and put it in, like, a backwards part of my brain that just holds the most useless information ever. And I remembered the guild and everything that he was in, and he's like, how the fuck do you know me? This is freaky.
It must have been like, was he a big streamer or a big gamer at the
Um,
time, or was it just
No,
really
it was
coincidence?
so the weird thing is the person that told me about World of Warcraft sold their World of Warcraft account to that guy. And I didn't know
Oh.
this guy or anything. I just knew that the person that I knew sold their World of Warcraft account to that guy. And that guy would then make a character with that name. And so I knew that of this name because the person who got me to play World of Warcraft showed me the character that used to be on his account that now
Oh,
has
I
this name,
see.
right? So it's really
Gotcha.
convoluted, right? But but then I was able to be like to this guy, I know that you bought your World of Warcraft account.
Oh, you're not
And
the
I know
original
that,
guy then.
and he's like, how the hell do you know that? I'm like, it's really freaky, right? But
So, okay, a lot of people, I guess, on my channel probably don't
Mhm.
know. I mean, even myself, when I started watching you, you were already into gaming, you were already into body painting. I
Mhm.
didn't learn about Twitch until I was like 30, which is kind of crazy. So that was like 5 years ago for me.
Ah,
And basically a friend of mine was like, "Oh, you should look at," I'm pretty sure he pronounced your name wrong too for the record.
everyone
So I'm
pronounces
going
my
to
name
blame
wrong.
him, okay?
Everyone
But
does it.
does he? Okay. Well, he's like, "You need to check her out. She's so good." And I think
Uh-huh.
at the time you might have been getting like over 2,000 viewers. Maybe is this
Yeah,
accurate? Like when you were
at
body
the start
painting?
of when I was like body painting, and I was very much at the beginning of body painters existing on Twitch. I would later have like a bunch of calls with Twitch talking to them about body painting and its like place on the platform and stuff like that. So I was very much there at the beginning of that. And obviously with the nature of these things, it kind of always sat on, at least the community's perception side of things, always sat on like the edge of the gray area, you know, about
Mm.
whether or not this is okay. So it always generated tons of viewers. So there was one time I did like a body paint of Sylvanas, and Blizzard at the time were like, hey, we want to put some of our World of Warcraft streamers on the front page. And I was like, cool, this is a good opportunity. I'm going to do a Sylvanas makeup. So Blizzard put me on like the launcher for World of Warcraft. So
That's
when you would log into
awesome.
the game, it would say, come watch Djarii. And I was doing a Sylvanas body paint at the time. And I think back then I had like 5,000 or so viewers. But yeah, I mean, when I was doing body painting, I was consistently around several thousand, 1,000 at
That's
least.
amazing.
Obviously, body painting is a lot more common on Twitch now, which is awesome. The numbers aren't really the same, but definitely at the start, I had a lot of viewers for that. That's for sure.
So what started you into body painting? Like, because obviously you're one of the first ones, right? So like, where did the idea come from? I have no idea where it originally generated from, so you probably
Right.
have a little
So
more knowledge on that.
yeah, so for me, it kind of began with makeup. And I've always been like really heavily interested in makeup and traditional makeup. And so I kind of obviously I started on Twitch for gaming. I was a gaming streamer before anything else, but I was
Okay.
always known for being like Djarii wears like this makeup. She's always like big on her makeup, like in the creative expression of all of it. So kind of people already connected that identity to me. Um externally to the gaming. And so I was kind of like, oh, you know, they do have art categories opening up on Twitch. I wonder how much this would like connect to makeup. Like I wonder if I could start doing like gaming related makeup. And so I was really just exploring a lot of different makeup stuff. And then I knew or learned of like a makeup competition with NYX Cosmetics. So NYX do or used to do every year this competition thing called the NYX Face Awards, and it's pretty much a makeup competition. See how far you can get based on your skill and your artistry. And so I entered into the Face Awards one year, just not thinking that it would go anywhere, and surprisingly enough, I got called back. And somehow I think I had I had gotten my way into a finalist position.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so this was like really at the beginning of not having done makeup on Twitch, but just kind of exploring makeup externally to my gaming stuff. And that was kind of the beginning of it all, was with suddenly becoming a finalist. And I must admit, I did feel like maybe I had gotten to a finalist position because I had so many people in gaming that voted for me. And I did feel a little bit like maybe I didn't deserve to be here as much as some of the other creators. And one of the other creators in particular was a body painter. She specialized with doing body painting with airbrush on others. So doing stuff on herself was very, very different. But I always found like her body painting to be really, really incredible. And that got me thinking, can I bring the worlds together with gaming and with makeup? And that was the birth of let's try World of Warcraft body painting and try and turn myself into the characters. Awesome. And so that's kind of like the original story of the art and how I got into it. So it really started with NYX Face Awards and Miss Kate Monroe, who did amazing body painting. Yeah, that's kind of
okay. I've never heard of this person, but like, do they still actively do body painting?
Yeah, I think she does. She does like a lot of. I can have a look on her Instagram real quick, and I can send it to you. But I think she does. I don't know how active she is these days. She also does like a lot of really cool street art kind of like
that's
stuff,
awesome.
because a lot of her stuff is spray paint kind of oriented, so airbrush. She does a lot of like children's face painting and stuff, and some of her body painting. I don't know. I can show you like kind of her like page on my Instagram here.
Yeah.
But she does have like a lot of much larger stuff where she paints like on others.
Oh, those are awesome.
So that was kind of the first immediate like idea that I had of body painting.
Holy cow, that's incredible.
And she's really, really super skilled at what she does.
Would you say that you were you the first person on Twitch to try body painting, or was there anybody else like just kind of dipping their toes in it too?
K-Pike Fashion was
doing it at the time?
The first, I think, because I believe, and don't quote me verbatim on this one, but I think she was headhunted by Twitch to come and do her body painting on Twitch.
Oh,
so
that's
I think
incredible.
She might have been the first, but I definitely, if not the first, then there was definitely the second.
Okay. That's like, you're definitely still one of the like first people though, do you know what I mean, that really pushed it and helped it to take off. Like I said, you inspired me to try it, and I'm sure there's other people you inspired to try as well.
I think so. I mean, I definitely think I had a hand to play. I don't think I'm blowing my own horn too much.
Because, you're good. You deserve it. It's good.
When Twitch announced their like ambassador program, originally it was TwitchCon ambassadors. They invited me to be one of their first because they felt like I was innovative to a category type. So so I think that I was definitely amongst the first.
Okay, so what is your favorite body paint? I feel like this is where I should bring up some of those pictures.
Geena.
It is a hard question, I know.
And I think you know this, right?
I do.
Because people probably ask you all the time.
And it's like, it always depends, I think, on like my mood. Do you know what I mean? Because some of them are favorites for different reasons.
Right?
So like, I usually answer in different ways.
Like, because some of them are like emotional favorites. Like they have feelings to me that I couldn't get because maybe the stream when I did them was like particularly special, or because I liked that I like learned a specific thing when I did it. And some of them are just like, oh, the pictures turned out really beautiful and I love them for that reason.
Exactly.
So
should I bring
guess
up Naruto? I think I should bring up your Naruto paint.
you
right
could,
now.
yeah, you could totally ring up the
Yes, yes.
Naruto one.
This is
The
my first
Naruto
time
one
trying
is
to share, but oh, it's working. Yes.
nice. Well done, you. Yeah, this one was like I did this a long time ago, so it's quite old now, and my photo skills has definitely improved, and makeup skills since then, to be honest. But this one was interesting for me because I literally tried to paint it the day before and I had a breakdown on stream and had to take a shower midstream, wash it all off and come back.
Really?
And just like, yeah, because you know when you do like a paint and everything is going wrong and your brain is not figuring out how to create this like and make it look good. And then you've layered upon layers and layers of paint and it's so muddy and you're like, "Oh my god, I can't."
Yes.
And doing body painting in and of itself is already so stressful sometimes, and also so vulnerable when you're doing it on Twitch. So already when it's not going well and people are here because they're like, "Oh my god, titties," and you're there like, "Oh my god, it looks like trash."
Yeah, and you're like, "No, it looks so good," and you're like, "Oh my god," like sweating on the inside, like hot flashes, because you're like, I'm trying to trust the process, but I just don't know. Sometimes I just don't know, but
sometimes you don't, and it's just a gamble. And so the first time I tried to paint Naruto, it was a gamble. And then the next day I spent even longer deciding exactly, because I had to kind of make it up about how it was going to look, because this is like because there was no like Naruto's sexy girl form didn't have an outfit, so I had to kind of come up with one, right? Yes. And so the next day I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this again, but I'm gonna really think about what exactly it is that she's gonna wear. And then I was like really, really happy with it, ironically. So
you did an amazing job. It was worth the breakdown.
The eyes look a little bit shit, but I would totally do them better if I was doing it again. But I was really happy at the time with the outfit and everything, so I really liked it at the time.
I feel like this one also inspired, because I think Sky Daddy did a Naruto like
she did the same outfit, I think, as well. I think she messaged me or at least tagged me on something to say that it was inspired by my Naruto design. So she's come a long way. She's become iconic.
She like her body paints are absolutely amazing too.
Sky Daddy's like one of those people that I am so impressed by her sheer dedication. You know, she's always pumping out paints and she's working really, really hard on it. And she reminds me of me when I started, and now I'm like old, decrepit, and tired.
You're not. Do you think you'd ever try and paint this again?
Oh yeah, I would definitely try to paint a bunch again. Maybe when I lost a little bit of weight, but
no, that's not necessary. Come on.
I mean, I think that's probably one of the main things why I haven't been painting in a while. But I would definitely do it again, because it was a really cool paint, and I am a Naruto mega fan, which is why I loved seeing your trifecta of Naruto characters.
Oh, thank you.
Actually, it wasn't even a trifecta. You did Kakashi, Sakura, Naruto, and Sasuke.
Yes, I did. I did the full team.
You did the quarter.
So.
Yeah, nice.
So the thing that like. I've been drawing inspiration just from anime that I've been watching. So like when I started my Dragon Ball series, that was purely just because Kyle, my boyfriend / husband, was watching Dragon Ball Z, and I was like, "Oh, what are you watching?" And he's like, tries to explain it to me, and I was like, who's this, why do they have beef? And I start asking all these questions, and he's like, okay, we're just gonna like start from Dragon Ball and go through. And as I'm watching it, I was like, I could turn myself into these characters, you know what I mean? And for me personally, I had kind of like fallen into like a lull because I didn't really know what to paint, and I got to a point where I was like, well, if it's not going to be like something I really want to do, I'm probably not going to do it very good, so I don't want to do it. Like, I don't know if you ever feel like that, but
yeah, I do. If I don't have like a connection to the character, I don't care enough to do it. And I'm not somebody that just does things on trends, because I know like every time there's like a new like Marvel movie and everyone's like, okay, gotta paint this, gotta do this, oh, you know, so and so came out on Netflix, so gotta do this. And I'm like, if I don't like that character, I can't be fucked.
Right? I exactly feel the same way. I did a Spider-Man paint once, basically because I was like, well, I've never painted Spider-Man, and the new Coming Home or whatever friggin' movie it was at the time, And I think it took me 8 hours, and I only got like, I think I painted one arm and I left the other one just to my elbow because I was like, at 9 hours was the max I've ever gone. Like, I don't know how
Mm.
anybody paints longer than that. Like, I think M Croft, she paints for like hours and hours, and I think Sky Daddy's the same. I don't know. What's your longest paint ever been?
They're usually like, I think 8 hours is usually the medium.
Okay.
I don't think they ever go any shorter than that. Maybe 7 hours if that we're on a
Okay.
if we're on a super day. But usually eight to 10 hours. I would say is probably the fair amount of time. But yeah, when you're saying about painting the arm, I just remembering painting your right arm is like
The opposite arm, yeah.
like painting your right arm is like depression territory.
Yes. Okay. So it's funny you say that because I will literally, I'm left handed, but I
Uh-huh.
will literally paint as much as my left arm as I can
Yeah,
with
yeah,
my
yeah,
left
yeah.
hand
I'm
because
like,
I don't want to switch. You know what I mean?
uh-huh.
Because it's like, I know these lines are going to be bad, and I know, like,
Yeah.
I might not get the curves right or something. So
I used to say like if I really wanted to like feel good about paint, I needed to paint as much of the arms ASAP.
hmm,
Because it's so fun. Painting this area here is the most fun area to paint,
yes,
right? And
I
I can
agree.
sit here and I can make detail here forever. It's great, super fun. It's like the best canvas ever. But when you have
Yes.
to work on this part, it and the hands and like when they have like wrist cuffs and then you turn your hand and then it's in the wrong place and
Yes.
it's like it's so trash.
Yes. My
So if I paint
hands.
as much on my right arm before and I
That's
don't leave it to the
smart.
last minute because when you're on hour 8 and you're tired, the last thing you want to do is paint your right arm or your left arm in your case.
I feel like I've been doing it wrong then, because I literally leave my hands are my least favorite thing to paint, and it's probably
Yeah.
because I feel like my hands just absorb so much
Yeah,
paint,
then you
so it
gotta
feels like
do
it takes
paint in your
forever.
knuckles as well.
Yeah, and like all in here, and it just
Yeah.
it absorbs the paint, I feel, and I'm
hmm
like this forever. It's like, why? The rest of my body went fine, but
Right? Yeah, the
yeah.
hands on the arms is just something else. On elbows. Oh, and then you get like paint
Oh
this
my
bit.
goodness. I avoid those areas if I can because my
Yeah, me
armpits
too.
will be stained for days. Like
Oh,
armpits and
yeah.
hands, definitely.
Armpits stain really badly. People don't realize just how
Yeah.
badly armpits stain, especially if you use like red paint. Your armpits will be pink
Or
for
green.
days. Or
Green is
green.
like my
I don't know what it
nemesis,
is about
really.
armpits, but they're just like really just suck up so much paint to the point where I actually just started like painting this whole area black when I paint like the waist slimmer, and I just paint a chunk of the armpit out and just paint it in black because I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
if the armpit's not visible, I can try and convince people it's a shadow.
This is true. That's smart, actually. So, did you do any like training at all, like for painting or art in general? Like, do you do
Yeah.
any other art as well outside of body paint?
Yeah. I went to art school. I never went to university, so
Okay.
I went to college. So my like my school history goes, I left school at 16 and I went to college and I studied
Oh,
fine art in college, and then I moved to Scotland. Like just shy of 2 years after that, and then I went to college again in Scotland to do art again. And my plan originally before I started streaming was to go to college in Edinburgh in Scotland
hmm,
and then use that to springboard into Edinburgh College of Art, which is an art university that's quite prestigious in the UK. And so the whole plan was go do this. And then at some point when I was in college again, I found Twitch and I started streaming, and then I was like, oh well, I can't go to university now. So I never did. But my whole plan was to go to university in Scotland to study art. So I didn't quite get there. But I was still able to do some artistic stuff, and I do still do like traditional paintings,
oh, do you?
drawings and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So, like, is it just for like personal fulfillment at this point, or do you paint for like friends and family and stuff too?
Sometimes I paint for friends, but if my friends who know me know that I very seldom finish a painting.
I feel
Um
that pain, by the way.
so but I do paint. Like I see you have your easel in the background.
Oh my,
It's a
that's my
beautiful...
unfinished Frieza.
Well, look at mine. Mine's really popping off right now, right?
Is there a sketch on there? I just can't see. No, there's not even a sketch. Oh.
Because I hide all of my paintings religiously because I'm like, if they're not done, I don't want to see them.
It's funny you say that because I started at like a, I don't know if you're familiar with Dragon Ball, but Kame House is like the little pink house on the island, right? Where Master Roshi lives. And I started a painting like for probably almost 2 years ago now. And it still needs like final touches in the ocean and the clouds and on the island. It's hanging in our living room, unfinished. Like
That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes.
Basically.
And I feel some kind of way about my own paintings, so I can't hang any of them up. I have to pretty much put them face down under a bed or something so I don't have to look at them.
That must be like the artist's curse though, because I feel like I've always been that way. I used to give away my paintings. I would have like a garage sale and someone would be like, "Oh, how much do you want for that painting?" And I'd be like, "I don't know, $20." It probably took me like freaking 12 hours to paint whatever the heck it was. Right. But here, $20. If you're gonna love it and it's gonna hang on your wall, I don't care. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
that's good though. I guess I just struggle with my own art, and I was really particular with my body paints too, and I always really struggled to upload a painting that I wasn't 100% happy with. Which I feel like we all have paintings that we're not 100% happy with, and sometimes you just have to post them because that's the nature of the social media game. Yes. But I'm a perfectionist, and sometimes it's really hard. And so with my paintings that I have like personal autonomy over whether or not they get seen, I'm like, yeah, you can live under there, but I'm not throwing you out because I took a really long time painting you.
I feel that so much. So like, how much do you still paint like actively, or is it just a little bit?
I am an ADHD hyper focus on painting for half a year and then don't pick it up for another 2.5 years and then hyper focus on it again for another period kind of painter. I feel that definitely. So at the moment we're hyper focusing on photography at the moment. I love that. so that's kind of our focus now, but I do just like go back and forth, and then when I get back on the wagon, I just start painting nonstop.
Okay, so let's talk about photography then. I also used to do photography, but this was like years ago. I used to do like family portraits. I moved into boudoir, which I feel like at some point helped me with like the cosplay and taking pictures of my body paints and things like that now. So what kind of stuff are you taking pictures of, and like what?
I mean, when I say photography, maybe I'm giving too much credit. What I really mean is taking cute, smutty pictures of myself.
That counts. That absolutely counts. I love that. I feel like that in itself is a different exploration, like when you're taking the smutty pictures of yourself, because when I was taking smutty pictures of other people for boudoir photography, they were paying me to do this. Like, I'm looking for the best angles of them, right? And sometimes how they see themselves and what I perceive as like a good angle of them doesn't always align. Exactly, whereas like when I look at myself, I don't know, like, are you using an actual Me, I just use a fancy Samsung phone, and that's what I use for all my pictures, which I should probably just use an actual camera, but I feel like you use an actual big camera? That's amazing. Yeah, that takes skill. Yeah. Nice.
So I'm really interested in that at the moment. So definitely like hyperfixating on buying new lenses, backdrop ideas, buying new lights, buying new outfits to take pictures in. So that's like exciting. That's my my current train of thought.
So, do you draw inspiration from like other artists and stuff that you see on the internet, or like what do you do, I guess, to try and spark up some of that inspiration?
So I definitely do draw so much inspiration from like all of my peers, especially like the same with body painting, right? I feel like the best way to get ideas about body painting is looking at body painters and what they're doing.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you get like inspired on like how they paint or what they're painting, or you know, the poses and stuff, or the way that they like their backdrops or something. And so I pretty much look at a lot of things, a lot of my peers sometimes through like an analytical lens. What did I like about what they did? What didn't I like, and how can I apply this to what I do? So I definitely look at what my friends are doing. At the moment, I my first like frame of reference for taking this type of photo is my friend Blue Jay, and she's
Oh, I
been
think I
like,
follow them. Yes,
yeah,
they
she's
take beautiful
amazing. She
photos.
does like incredible, whimsical, sexy, high fantasy. And it's really, really cool. And I literally like go through all of her comments and sorry, all of her images, and I'm like, I love this, I love this. I make like mood
Mm.
boards or like folders full of inspiration. And actually, we're gonna start doing like set trading so we can see what
Okay.
each other are doing for poses and stuff.
I love that.
So I really want to just see exactly what I can do, and I really enjoy seeing like the progression from the first pictures that I was taking to the pictures that I'm taking now and how much growth there is.
Mm-hmm.
So I really do draw on my friends to get ideas of how to do more fun poses, how to do more fun photos, and how to make everything more visually interesting.
I love that.
Hmm.
Like the thing that I find really fun is the fact that you're basically taking something that you enjoy doing and you're constantly trying to like make it better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's excitement in that because you're like
Hmm.
to see that difference is definitely makes you feel good about what you're
Yeah.
creating, right?
Right. I feel very much like I look at everything through like an analytical lens, and
Mm,
how can I take this and how can I make it better and how can I apply it to me? You know? Because there are a lot of creators who are doing amazing things, and I maybe couldn't do them exactly the way that they do it, but I can do it in a way that works for me and that has a better like a better impact for me.
absolutely. I agree.
Hmm.
Um, let's talk about if you could meet or like collab with like anybody, who would it be?
Oh my gosh, that's a
That
really
that's
hard
like a
question.
it's like a
Yeah,
very straightforward question, but
yeah, because when you think about collabing, I'm like, well, what are we collabing with, first of all?
well,
Because I
I
feel like
guess.
we're like you and I feel like we're really similar in the sense that we dip our toes into every single thing, right? We're like
Yes.
traditional artists, we're body painters, we're photographers,
And
we're
gamers and
gamers,
yeah.
we're, curators of funnies, like we're doing all of the things. And
Yes.
so when I say collaborate, what are we collaborating on? Because I do so much stuff, and I know that you do too, that it's hard to like,
I
if I wanted to
guess.
collaborate with someone on like beautiful photography, then I absolutely would collaborate with with Blue Jay, because I feel like her level of like artistry in what she does is really, really high. Her stuff is really, really elegant and really, really classic and really, really
Mm.
beautiful. And I appreciate that from like a consumer standpoint. I really just enjoy looking at it. So I would love to collaborate with her. And then collaboration in like gaming, I honestly don't even know who I would want to collaborate with in gaming.
I was just thinking like if it could be anybody that it would just like make your heart so happy to like make content with them. I guess maybe that's the
Hmm.
it could be anything that you like to do, but just something that would like really make your heart flutter to be like I can't believe I just did that thing with that
Mm-hmm.
person.
Um, well, there was one there was one time when literally pre-COVID, it was really before lockdown happened, that I got a message from Mia Khalifa's manager, and they were like, "She's launching some spicy sites, and we want to hire you to do some makeup stuff so she can make some really cool photos for her thing." And I was like, "That would be so cool!" And then
Yeah.
COVID lockdown happened, and the conversation was
Oh.
never re-picked up. But I was like, that would have been really, really dope to be able to
Yeah.
do. They wanted to like fly me out to the States and do like some really cool like artistic stuff.
Oh,
And
that's
so and we like made
amazing.
like Pinterest boards and stuff, but it never happened. So that one would have been really, really cool. And
Mhm. That
she's
would
like
have
a
been so cool.
badass woman as well. So I'm like, I love that.
Absolutely. Hmm. Okay. Let me just pull this up. What is something that you think people should know about you as a creator? Like maybe it's something that you don't it's not necessarily out there, but something that is a big part of who you consider yourself to be as a creator.
That's an interesting question. I guess and I was thinking about this yesterday. because I'm somebody who is incredibly opinionated. If you know me, you know that I'm constantly arguing with people on Twitter. I can't help myself, apparently. Um, but I guess like I would love people to remember that I am still like a person, and
Mm,
and I know that I like that I have some thousand followers on Twitter or whatever, but that doesn't mean that I'm not like a real human being that sees everything that people write. And so yesterday I was like sitting in the dentist, really glamorous, and I was like reading some comments on Twitter, and I was just sad. Um, and I I was like, I'm just sad because I'm dealing with a lot of negativity and I don't feel like I've done anything necessarily to deserve it. And I
mm,
feel like people say things online because they don't think that I'm a human being that reacts with with human emotion like they
right.
might react with human emotion. And and I feel like sometimes I would like the world to know that, hey, like I am still like a person and I do still have feelings and you don't
Yes.
have to be so cruel. And I've been taking like some extended breaks away from social media for a while, and a lot of that is because I'm having trouble digesting negativity at the moment, which I feel like happens to a lot of creators. I've been in this
Mm-hmm.
scene now for like 9.5 years. So there comes a point where sometimes like I can't physically or mentally handle being a human punching bag. And it's not to say that most of the comments are negative, because most of them are positive, but sometimes the negative comments do really, really hurt. And
Yes.
so that was kind of like me yesterday thinking, I wish that people could like think that I am actually just a real person and I do have feelings, and the way that you treat me or talk about me, especially when you think that I can't read it, is really hurtful.
It is. I like
Yeah.
people definitely hide behind their keyboards 99% of the time, right? Like usually these people saying these hurtful things don't even have like a picture of themselves on their
Yeah,
account
oh yeah,
or
it's like the
you know what I
classic
mean?
anime
And it's
profile
like
picture. Yeah.
yeah, I recently had one of my Instagram reels about like my car popped off and it's
Uh-huh.
basically me in one of my I really love to wear like eccentric like weird outfits. Like if I feel like wearing it, I'm going to wear it. And
Yeah.
basically I was wearing this like harness over top of my t-shirt and a lot of the comments started out as like what the fuck are you wearing? Like people said I looked like Mario or they said like those
Hmm.
things don't bother me, but they do definitely like they'll find anything. So first it was my outfit, then it was the fact that I do OnlyFans, then it was this and that and the other thing, and like honestly, they just like they obviously have time to just go do this. Like they have no life, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
as a creator, I feel like it can be very saddening because you are obviously looking for you want people to like your content and sometimes it just hits the wrong side of the internet and you've
Hmm.
got all these people like shitting on you.
Yeah.
Most times I just try to ignore them. Half the time I write out a message and then I'm like, you
And
know
then
what,
delete it.
they don't deserve my energy and I just delete it because they
I do that
literally
so
don't,
often.
right? And that's
They
I don't know.
don't. But
Yeah.
it doesn't I sometimes I really hate it when people are like, yeah, but you know, like 90% of the messages are really nice, and I'm like, I know that, and please don't make me feel guilty for being sad about like the
Yeah.
10% that aren't, because I can't help that that's how I respond. You know, I can't help that
Yes.
that's how it hurts. Like that's how it feels. And you know, people are like, yeah, well, you've been on the internet for so long, you should have built up some thick skin. I'm only a person.
Yes.
And everybody has their limits, and those limits are valid. Um,
Absolutely.
and I feel like sometimes the things that I read about myself, especially when they think that I haven't seen it, are really dehumanizing.
And that's probably, I think, the downside of being
Yeah.
a creator is because they associate you almost the same way that they do. I'm not saying that, like, I never feel like a celebrity, but they dehumanize you the same way they would a celebrity because
Yeah.
they, like, separate you from the rest of society,
Yes,
basically.
exactly. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's the same with like, and I feel like this with like Titan celebrities, like the Kardashians. People talk so casually about their hatred towards them. And
Yes.
it's like
Yeah.
these are real women that they obviously exist in a different type of life than you.
Mm-hmm.
But also, you know, just because they are extremely privileged doesn't mean that they deserve to be treated badly by literally the world. Like their privilege comes at the cost of being hated by society. right?
Basically.
Like,
Hmm.
it's just like doesn't make it okay, and people talk so casually and so openly about their hatred of these people. And it's like, you don't even know these women. Like, you only know what they put online. You don't know them as humans. You don't know what they care about, what they love, how they treat their family. You don't know all of these things about them.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like that also defines them as a character. Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
what they always say is what you're talking about is basically defining your character. So if all you could talk about is the hate you have towards people you absolutely know nothing about, like
that's
that
true.
just tells me you have
It
way
tells
too
me a
much
lot
time
about
on your
them.
hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that the main thing that drives you is hate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. One of my
Yeah.
favorite things to do, just to like flip it from hate to like love, is sometimes when I am feeling like shit about the comments on my stuff, I will go to other people and like spread love and be like, you know what I mean? Like I'll find artists or cosplayers or whoever else on the like
Yeah.
scroll my feed and be like, I fucking love this. Like I'll just like
Mm-hmm.
comment on
Yeah,
shit because like
yeah.
it makes
That's
me
really
feel so much
nice.
better just to try and compliment somebody else, like genuinely still, but like
Yeah, of
I
course.
feel like putting that out there makes
That's
me feel
that's
better.
really nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's definitely something to be said about like a unique dopamine that you get from being kind to others, right?
Also
Like being
true.
being kind to others will actually affect you in a positive way. Like it will literally release endorphins that make you feel good because you did
Mm-hmm.
something that made somebody else feel good. It's like the same reason why we're so excited on Christmas not to receive gifts, but to give the gifts to
Yes.
others, right? That's the most
To
exciting
see
thing,
like I
right?
hope they
To see
like the
other
gift I
people
gave them. Yeah.
excited is gonna make you happier.
Absolutely. I agree. So let's go back to body painting here. Do you have any plans to do any more, or is it just one of those like you're kind of waiting to see if there's some
So
inspiration?
yeah, I've taken like a small break from like body painting. A lot of it is kind of like body confidence slash Twitch anxiety
Oh,
related.
okay.
Because when I do body painting, I don't ever do them like not on Twitch. I don't think I've ever done a body paint not on Twitch. So for me, the connection between streaming on Twitch and body painting is like very intrinsically linked.
Yes.
Um, and I am just a little bit fragile these days
That's okay.
to put myself out there. Um, which I know when I say body confidence stuff, it's kind of it seems kind of hypocritical because I literally launch spicy sites now and do stuff that other people would think is like extremely on the other edge, but I get to very much like moderate what I upload onto those sites. Whereas on
Absolutely.
Twitch, it's a live stream and they're very 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 long and people clip me in really unfortunate ways and it can be really hurtful for my mental health. So I don't want to necessarily put myself out there for 8 hours where I get really really tired and painting and put myself and my vulnerability on the line to paint something at the moment when I feel emotionally kind of fragile. But that being said, I would love to do some Valorant inspired stuff soon, even if
Ooh.
whether that's like body paint related or like casual cosplay stuff related. Because when I've been going through this kind of like break, like mental health hiatus break, I
Mhm.
spent most of my time just playing Valorant. So Valorant has been very helpful to me to sort of like getting back on the horse and stuff and having something fun that I look forward to playing and stuff. So I really, really enjoy the characters there. So if I do sort of dip my toes back into everything again, then it might be Valorant
Oh,
related.
okay, that'll be cool. I bet you like people would love to see like a Jet because I know Jet is like one of the
Yeah.
huge characters in Valorant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
My
that's
my
awesome.
favorite character is Sage. She's the healer.
Oh, okay.
And I'm very much like a support person. I love playing the healers, so I would love to do one of her. But Jet is also really really cool, and I actually did buy all of like the wigs for my favorite characters.
Did you?
So
That's
that was
awesome.
kind of like my step. Like, okay, I'm committing like 30% to making it because I'm starting to buy pieces towards those characters. So I did buy like a wig for like Sage. I bought one
Oh,
for
that's
Jet. I bought
awesome.
one for Neon. Like I bought a bunch. In fact, there's literally a wig sitting on my
Oh, is that what
table
that
that
is?
arrived today. That one is for Hinata because because
Oh,
I really want to do like a Hinata casual cosplay kind of set thing. I think she's a really sexy character that I
she
can do some
is,
fun
yeah.
stuff with. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm making little baby steps.
That's awesome. I know you. I'm actually going to hold on. Where's, you also did a Hinata body paint
That's
that I
right.
want to show. It's so badass. Hold on, I'm just gonna show it to you real
I
quick.
really, really love the Hinata one, but I think it's because I just love like editing the eyes or wearing contact lenses that make your eyes white out. I think it just looks so cool.
It like this looks amazing. Like the eye
Right?
makeup is incredible. I love the way you did the mesh. I love the way you did like the wrinkles and the zipper and stuff here. Do you
Thank
not
you.
still have this wig, or is that one just
I
like?
do, but it's black and I edited it in the photo. But since I'm like
Oh, I
shooting on a
see.
bigger, better camera now, I'm like, okay, maybe I should just buy a wig that has like slight blue tones in it. So I
Oh,
bought a wig
okay.
that's pretty much identical to that one, but has the blue tones in it.
Oh, got you. So you're saying like these little blue highlights in her hair is
Yeah,
like
some of
was
them
edited?
are
Oh,
just like
okay.
edited
And that's
on,
fair.
yeah.
I definitely have done that before because you're like making sometimes it's like you make do and then you're like, I just need to
Yeah.
tweak it a little bit later.
Sometimes it's like that. Like it's just that it needs a little bit, but sometimes you're like, maybe I shouldn't just buy like another wig. But I have an extreme wig collection. I'm sure that you can relate. That
I
I'm like, I'll
yes.
just bang another wig to the collection. It's fine.
So do you I tried learning how to style my own wigs. Now, I can make it look sort of the way I want. It's not super polished like you would see some of these like people who've been doing it for
Yeah.
years. But do you do the same thing where you like have you tried that where to
Yeah,
style it?
I have done a bunch. I do have like the hairdressing scissors. I do have like the
Mhm.
what's it called, got to be glued and all of those ones. I do have like the wig heads and stuff that I do some stuff on. It just kind of depends on what I need the wig for because I won't spend like 3 hours editing a wig if it will look okay in a photograph. But depend if I need it on video, then it might be different. Then I might, or if I need it in
Oh,
real
I
life,
see.
then I'm definitely gonna put in the
I
hours to
yeah.
make it look good, right? Because sometimes you can buy a wig from like Amazon or whatever and put it on. You're like, okay, you know what? It's fine. I can work with this. It looks good in a photo. If I wore it in real life, I'm gonna have to take the thinning shears to it and go to town. But
Mm.
um, if it's for a photo, it might be fine. So I have and I do have wigs that I have spent like so much time doing. Like my first one, I remember I did a boozette paint and she has like the little
I
things, I think.
love
And so I was
bouzette.
there like cutting the fringe and then like sticking the bits out and I was super happy with it. Back then I don't know if it's even like I don't know if I have the picture still or if it even looks good. But at the time I was like, yeah, I'm just like all the cool cosplayers and doing all the wig stuff.
Styling my
Yeah.
wigs.
Like living vicariously through this idea that I've ascended because I do wigs.
But I feel like even just trying it, you kind of mentioned before, where like when you dabble in all these like little things, and Kyle and I have talked about this because Kyle is a car guy. Kyle will
Mm-hmm.
always be a car guy, and he's like,
Mm-hmm.
for him, it's like one thing. And he plays Fortnite with me a little bit here and there,
Nice.
or does like a few odd things with me here and there. But
Mm-hmm.
like, I will literally be like, okay, I learned how to body paint. Now I'm gonna learn how to do wigs. Now I'm eyeing up a
Yeah.
friggin' 3D printer so I can try and 3D
Mm-hmm.
print like
You have to
an
learn a lot of
actual.
things, like
Yeah.
like photos. You have to learn how to take good photos. You have to learn about like
Yes.
lighting setups. You have to learn about
Yes.
wig styling. You have to learn about photo retouching, video retouching. You know, you have to be charismatic and interesting and set up a whole stream and be tech savvy because you got to do all these things. You need to learn so many things,
Yes.
and yeah, it really you can tell if someone hasn't put in the effort on one of those parts, and so it's kind of you've really got to put yourself out there to learn a bunch of shit.
Yeah, I feel like people don't really talk about how much skill actually goes into like if you want to genuinely create your own like cosplay or things like that. Like anybody could go and like buy something,
Yeah.
but sometimes to take things to like the next level, unless you're paying somebody who is crafting it, like if you're just
Mm-hmm.
buying it from a costume store, it's going to be different than like if you paid someone
Yeah.
big dollars on Etsy or something or yourself,
Yeah.
right? Like
And
nobody really
especially
talks
if you're
about
like
that.
a body painter, some of us like we like body painting because it means that we can transform into a character without necessarily putting in the same amount of time,
Yes.
to build the costume because we get to paint a lot of the costume on. But that doesn't necessarily always work for 3D elements, right?
Yes,
So
that's
if you're
also
doing
true.
like horns or helmets or shoulder pads, sometimes there needs to be a 3D element that you can realistically paint on your skin. And that means sometimes you might just have to make some pauldrons and that means you have to pick up a whole new set of skills
Yes.
to build those. And then you got to consider, how the fuck do I paint it? Because usually I'm painting what is 3D technically, but kind of 2D, and you're painting it to look 3D.
Yes.
But then you've got to paint your props, which are 3D. But then you're like, how do I paint these to make them
So
match
it
the same
looks
style?
like it, like,
So that
sorta
it
looks
looks
it?
so it
Yeah.
looks like it matches, and it's like there's a whole fucking crazy, I don't even know, complex train of thought here.
So, how do you feel like you use your art school background into all these things now? Like, I never took school, so like I don't even like I don't know exactly what you learn in fine art school, but do you find that
Nothing.
that trans well, I mean, I don't know, but
So, I mean, if the like, the people listening here who have like been to UK art school can probably confirm, that it is like an assessment of criteria where you don't actually learn specific skills. The most that you'll learn is going to be the things that you're actually really interested in, right? So for
okay.
me, like, I was a kid that wanted to go to do art stuff because I was really heavily into like drawing and heavily into like anime manga, and so that was like
Okay.
the original one, right? And then it started becoming, oh, it's fine art, and I actually really wanted to do like classic portraiture, and then it was like, oh, I'm really interested in digital art, and then it's kind of, but I all of the skills that I got were because I was actually interested in certain things that made me want to try to do those things, not because
Okay.
I went to school and they were like, okay, we're gonna start doing a lesson on classical portraiture. um I never learned any of that in school. They were just like, hey, here's your brief. You know, it needs to be, you're doing a project that's kind of about XYZ. Good luck, and try
What?
and use lots of different mediums, and create your theme, or create your like your missive. And
Oh.
so I don't feel like you really learn anything. There wasn't that many practical lessons where you actually had to, you know, do like life drawing or something, because I feel like that stuff is really, really useful, but we didn't do that much of that. So
Really?
mostly I would say don't go to art school, just find something that you really love doing and look online at how to do it, because there are so many more valid, more like, I don't know, better ways to learn. Like, I had a friend who I played World of Warcraft with, who was for a time like a concept artist for some indie games,
Okay.
and she also painted traditionally, and she was like my senpai. I would like send her all of my art, and she would like redline it for me and be like, okay, well, this anatomy's wrong, you gotta really do some work on this, Sophia, you gotta learn about this sort of stuff. And so that's kind of how I learn, and I was pushed mostly by like my online senpai that I played World of Warcraft with. And now she actually, like, many years later, she messaged me the other day, and she's like, "Hey, Soph, does this painting look good to you? Can you please give me honest
Oh.
critique? Like, what can I improve on this? Because I haven't done this in a while." And so it's kind of fun. But that I feel like is way better than going to art school.
That's amazing. That like I feel I had a friend growing up who was into art like I was, but our styles were so completely different that
Uh-huh.
like sometimes if we did like critique or try and, talk about each other's art, it just never felt like cuz she was completely like abstract. I don't even know what I was, to be honest. I just
Mm-hmm.
like would draw and paint whatever I felt like, but she
Yeah.
also went to art school and I also didn't. So I it was an interesting mix, but it must feel so nice to have that support for you, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
to be able to ask
Because
her.
she went to art school. She's Polish, and she went to a university in the UK
Okay.
to study art. And she was like, "Yeah, it was such a waste of time. If anything, go to
Really?
Poland to learn. Yeah, it's way better there." But she was like really, really helpful to me, and really encouraging to me through all of my like, um I guess like hyperfixations on different categories in art, whether that was like body painting or digital art, or like painting traditionally and stuff, whether that be with acrylics or with oils and stuff. And we would just nerd out and talk about that,
I
and get
love
really
that.
like inspired by each other. And I actually have a giant painting by her
Do
in
you?
my bedroom with my cat. So, it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice to have someone like that.
That is really nice. I
Hmm.
like do you prefer do you paint with acrylics or oils or both?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Both. Yeah, I mean, Depends on what I wanna do. Like I started playing with like acrylics because I have cats, and I was always like, oh, I don't really want to like, use a bunch of solvents, and
Mm.
I don't want to leave paints out because they might step in it. And what if cat hair gets onto the canvas? And
Oh, I
sometimes it's
guess I
better
never
to not
thought
do
about
that sort
that.
of stuff in a tiny apartment. But acrylic is really forgiving because if you fuck up, you can just paint over it 30 seconds later and it will literally be
Basically.
fine.
Yes.
But I started painting with oils because she was like, so if you really gotta try oils, I think you're really gonna love it, and if you want to have like a transition, you can use some of these like paints that are acrylics, but they kind of are slow drying acrylics, so you get like a feeling that's similar to oils, and
Okay.
see if you like that. And if you do, you've got to try oils. And she's like, there's so many cool techniques that you can try with oils that you can't necessarily do with acrylics. And so I started playing with oils then, and I would do like my underpainting in like acrylic, and then I would do my painting on top of that with oils, and that was kind of cool.
Okay. See, oils is something I felt like acrylic is easy. Acrylic is like the how to paint for dummies,
Right?
basically. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because, like you said, you screw it up, you paint it over, you can try and blend things, screw it up, you paint it over. You know what I mean? Like it
Mm-hmm.
is literally so forgiving. I always felt like oil was something that you had to be taught to like do it the proper way. Because
Yeah,
when I
I
read
don't think
about
it's
it,
that complex.
no, oh,
I thought exactly the way that you felt, and then I tried it and I was like, oh, it's not that hard.
really?
It's
I
not
might
as
have
hard
to
as
try
anyone makes
it.
it. It's not as hard as people make it out to be.
Okay.
It's really it's like, if anything, it's really fun to blend with oils because it just blends. You
I
don't
was
have to
gonna.
sit there forever trying to blend colors together like you do with acrylic, and then they're dry, so then you're fucked. It's
Yes. Okay,
awesome.
that's my struggle because I mean, I can get my acrylics to blend, and sometimes I feel like I've almost incorporated that half blend style into
Mm-hmm.
my style of painting. Do you know what I mean? Like that's kind
Yeah,
of become a thing for me, but I do love seeing how buttery some people can get their
buttery.
blends. You know what I mean? It just
Yeah,
looks so smooth and good.
super buttery, and
Yeah.
that's really really fun with. And yeah, I mean, I guess you definitely should try it, but I think that there are like ways to go, but you don't need all of like the solvents and everything else.
You don't?
You can go completely solvent free with
I
oil
didn't know.
painting, and you don't really need to use that much product as well, because with like oils, you're using like a bunch of other mediums with them. So you're only using like a tiny, tiny drop of paint, so it doesn't,
What?
and you
I
can
feel like I don't know any of these
you can get
things.
like palettes that you can put lids on so that you can make sure that the paint stays, protected. And there's a bunch of cool stuff that you can do with them to make it like make the process more welcoming. And then the good thing
Okay.
is, that you can literally just open up the palette the next day and all the colors that you are using are just still there.
That's amazing considering I've how many like palettes of like gunked up acrylic paint, you know what I mean? You peel it off a palette or something the next day because it's all just like dried
Right?
hard.
Have you ever tried stay wet palettes with your acrylic paint?
No, what is that?
Oh my God, I'm gonna blow your mind right now.
What is it? I'm already, like the name of it sounds interesting enough. I'm
Right?
assuming it does what it says. Like,
Yeah, so I when I was painting minis, I discovered that there are these palettes that are specifically designed to keep your acrylic paints wet so
oh,
that they don't dry up on your palette. 'Cause, if you use like a normal plastic palette, you put your acrylic paints down and then they start to get film over the top of them, and then you have to
mm-hmm.
keep breaking the film to get the paint, and then eventually but if you leave it one day, that's totally rock solid.
Yes.
And so stay wet palettes are palettes where you put the acrylic paint on, and the paint can't dry on the palette. So essentially, it's
Oh,
like it will be like there'll be like a foam sheet that's soaked in water, and then a plastic sheet that kind of plastic, kind of like grease paper on top, and then you put the
okay.
paints on that, and because it's sitting on this moist platform, the paint itself can't dry, and then you can put a lid on it, so then you can literally use your acrylic paints that
Oh
are on
my
your palette the
goodness.
next day.
Like the film doesn't even happen on the acrylic paint?
Nope. They're so sick. They're so
Okay.
good. And
Okay.
and so you can use minimal amounts of paint because you're not wasting some of them.
Okay, not me just like Googling it right this second,
I'll
just so I
find you
could
the
see
one
it.
that I have. It's so good. It's so
Okay.
good. They're
I'm
called like Stay Wet
definitely
palettes.
interested. I literally, okay, this might sound so like juvenile maybe, but like I literally use like a baking pan and I
Uh-huh.
fill it with tin foil, and then the tin foil is like my replaceable, like I just
Mm-hmm.
throw it out when I'm done. That's
I used to use like the palettes that they're like in a book of palettes, and you rip out a page
oh,
and then
okay.
you put the paint on it and then you throw that away when you're done. So that because I hate cleaning up palettes,
Same.
and I hate it when the paint sticks to my palettes and I have to palette knife it up.
I'm
So
more likely just to throw the whole palette away and just get
same.
another one. Like
Same. I mean,
I
they're like $2.99, right? Just fucking buy a new
yes,
palette. But I
exactly.
honestly, I really recommend getting the Stay Wet palettes. They're so good, so useful, and yeah, some of them are really nice. They have lids that you can clasp them shut, and all your paints stay intact. And
Hmm.
then it makes acrylic painting way more less stressful because you
You
know
don't
that
have
you're
to
not going
worry
to be
about it.
running out of paints and you don't have to remix colors.
So like, okay, here's the real question. Like, how often do you clean your brushes? Because like
Oh
I
my gosh,
probably
I'm so
never
good with
clean
it.
my brushes.
I'm so good with it.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm so
Oh,
good with it. Um,
not me.
I actually I have all of my brushes pretty much like washed,
Oh my
always ready to go.
oh
Like
my
I have
God.
drawers of these, by the way. I just have boxes of, but I have drawers of washed brushes, and I rotate out them, and I wash like some, and I rotate out new
Oh
ones,
my
and
goodness.
um,
That's I wish I
I
could have
keep
some sort of rotation like that.
when I body paint, usually I put everything that's dirty in one box at the end, like the box of out of sight, out of mind, and I'll deal with it later. And that
Mm.
includes like all pencils that I use that need to be resharpened, all brushes. Um, and then the next day I'll wash all of those brushes and I'll sharpen all those pencils and I'll put them back.
Oh, that's such a nice little routine. I feel like for me, I just like finish a body paint, and so I only have like one wall where basically I take my body paint
Mm-hmm.
pictures at the end, and it's upstairs in our bedroom. So
Mm-hmm.
my stream room's in the basement. I'll do my body paint. I leave here. I leave like I normally set up a
Yeah.
table. I just leave it until like the next day. And even then it's like I half-ass clean it up. So that's probably on me. I probably need to change that routine, I think. But
I thrive off of the idea that everything is clean and fresh and ready to use. So I do clean everything pretty religiously, but I also live in basically essentially one room. Like because this is my living room, this is my kitchen, this is my stream room,
oh, okay.
and this is my photography room, I guess, technically. This is everything room. And I just have this one big room and then I have a bedroom and a bathroom and that's it. So
Oh, okay.
my apartment's not really that forgiving in the sense that I can't have like dedicated stream rooms or anything. I'm essentially in my living room. If I turn my camera, I can
Oh,
break it.
oh.
Okay, if I turn my camera, you can't see anything. But yeah, my sofa's literally there, so I'm like in one tiny room.
Oh, okay.
So I have to be like really conscientious because the cats are roaming, and I don't want them to get hair on everything, which they will anyway.
Mm.
Um,
How many
yeah,
cats do you have?
I have two. One of them is
Two?
here. I'm gonna
Oh,
pull him
yes,
out of the
please. I
sleeping
love
corner
kitties. Show me.
because oh, come here, buddy. He's like tucked himself underneath. Oh, I know.
Oh, he's so fluffy.
He was
Is he
sleeping
like?
under the monitor, so he's like, Mom, you
Oh,
just woke.
oh, he's so cute. What's his name?
This is Lord.
Lord?
The Lord.
Oh, is he like a rag doll or?
He is a ragdoll, yeah.
Oh,
He's
he's
a
so
sleepy ragdoll, aren't you?
cute.
He's so sleepy.
See, I can't let my cats in my stream room because I've got like all my Dragon Ball stuff back here,
Yeah.
and I know a million
No,
percent all of it would be on the floor or broken.
I
So,
mean he's broken a few things to be fair. I have the other one as well, and they fight sometimes. So I would be like so stressed in a room where I have collectibles and stuff because they'll be all over it.
yeah.
Like I have to downscale those things.
Is your other cat a rag doll as well? Like, are they pretty docile, like just chill
They're
and just
both
want to cuddle?
super docile. They just want to sleep most of the time and then eat some
Oh,
snacks and then sleep some more. Play a little bit. The other the other one is on the other desk over there, just asleep right now, like dead to the world.
oh, cats are my favorite, to be honest.
My
Like, we
favorite.
have four of them, but
What are their names?
we've got Georgie, Archie, Frankie, and Corin.
We have such human names.
So when I originally named them, they were like old man names. I'm like, I want all
Yeah,
my cats to have old man names because I just thought it was
I love
funny.
that. Like
And
Winston.
then our little guy Corin, the newest one,
Uh-huh.
his name was actually inspired by Dragon Ball. There's a white like
Nice.
he's basically a cat who guards Corin's tower. It's
Uh-huh.
okay if you
I
don't
I
know
think I
anything
know
about.
the one.
Do you? He's like he holds like a little staff or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
He's like a big
yeah. I
fat
mean,
cat. So is
I've
him.
not watched too much Dragon Ball, but I'm vaguely familiar with the characters, and I think I can see the cat in my mind's eye, the
Mm.
cat in my mind's eye.
But he's a little shit disturber though, that one. So I am gonna
Cute.
say I think whoever's in chat, I think in probably a few minutes here, if we want to open up any questions to chat, if there's any, I'll give you guys some time to like think and type. But where do you see yourself like in the future? Do you think are you aiming for a specific kind of content, or are you just kind of like going with what feels good? Like where do you see yourself going
Yeah,
forward?
so usually when people ask me this question, I usually give them the one answer, and that's I'm kind of following the landscape of the industry where it goes.
Mm,
Um and if you'd asked me this question like half a year ago, I would have said the same thing, that I'm just following this landscape. Recently, obviously, I've been trying to launch like other websites, and mostly that's so that I can take a bit more of like time to myself, because I spent 9 odd years putting everything out there and talking all the time, that I forgot how much I love to just sit and play video games with the people
mm,
around me that matter and just enjoy that time. And I more like now more than ever want to just enjoy being me with the people that I love around me, and not necessarily put everything out for content, you know?
mm,
And there's this huge like being a social media person now means like uploading literally everything, collaborating with literally everyone, not taking a second to enjoy being around yourself ever anymore. And
mm-hmm.
everything has to be for growth, and I don't love that. Um, I really want to just take some time to just play Valorant all day in sweatpants and not worry about putting on my makeup or having people criticize me for silly things, you know? So now I'm trying to cut back a little bit on everything that I do online, and just safeguard my spaces a bit more. So that's really why like I started the other spicy sites,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of give me the freedom to control what exists of me online, give me autonomy over that,
Mm-hmm.
rather than somebody clipping my ass when I stand up.
And they do
um,
though, right? Like
and
the
they do.
weirdest thing gets
They
clipped
really do.
sometimes.
And,
Yeah.
and now, you know what? You can have that. You can have a picture of my ass, but it's going to be hella curated. And I was the one who said, this is a great ass. The world can have it.
Yep.
And that's nice to me, to be able to control that. So I'm really trying to focus on maybe kind of
Excuse me.
stream a couple days a week, and do streaming for me rather than
Yes.
streaming as a business, because I am doing more than well enough on the other sites to not have to worry about brand deals, or stress out over or making sponsored content that even though the companies that I worked with are awesome, isn't necessarily really super fun or fulfilling anymore. I want everything to be much more organic, and if I talk about something, I want it to feel organic and be organic.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I guess that was the long answer to say that I'm really trying to focus on those sites, and see where they go, and I'll follow the wave there and see what happens.
I love that so much. We were just so last week I was talking Kyle is my husband and he
Hmm.
was my first guest and we kind of talked about that as well where basically if I have to make content for a living, I want it to be content that I enjoy making. So I feel like you're
Exactly.
kind of in the same wavelength, right? Where, because at one point I'm not partner on Twitch, and that's okay. And for a long time, I went to TwitchCon last year in San Diego,
Hmm.
and I was really like, damn it, I really want partner. And for the first little bit when I got home, I stressed about it, like to the point where like because really streaming all the time is not maintainable. I don't know how some streamers do it, especially like we have
They'll
two
burn out, trust
kids
me.
and
Like I
exactly.
know, because I was her, right? Like I
Mm,
streamed every day like 10 hours, and then I burn out, and it will happen. Some people have a longer wick to burn, but
sure.
it'll burn. It'll
Yes.
burn out. And then and then they'll also be looking for ways to kind of cut back. And burnout is so very real and so very painful because it can make you hate the things that you used to love.
Yes.
So yeah, some people definitely do have a bit of more of a taste for it, but it's too stressful to focus on maintaining a Twitch channel 10 hours a day, plus a YouTube channel, plus, shorts on all three of the main short platforms, plus photo content, plus, viral whatever and content planning, and then also maintain the business aspect of things, responding to your emails and networking with brands and traveling to do all of these things and then also do all of your accounting and your taxes and everything else on top of that. You're deep, like, fuck, right? I can't do it all. There's so much stuff.
Yes.
And how can I do all of this at like a really super high level and quality level that I can be proud of when I have to juggle too many things?
Yes, absolutely. I was gonna ask about like balancing your personal life and your
you won't have one
business.
if you do that.
Exactly. You kind of already touched on it. You had said that you're basically cutting back on stream so that you can focus on other content that you're enjoying right now. So I feel like that's perfect. And I'm guessing that the spicy sites are going good for you, which I love to hear. Awesome. I love that. I love that so much. Like, people don't, I mean, everybody's got their opinion on it, and that's fine. I feel like, for me personally, having a spicy site has, I've like embraced who I am. My spicy site has evolved over the last 3 years, but it gave me a sense of like it made me feel sexy, and it made me feel like I have like that control. I'm taking those photos, and I can totally see where you're saying, because like all these people are doing things that feel unflattering, and you're like, well, I'm gonna take sexy pictures that I like, and that's gonna be like my exploration. So yeah, I love that for you. And so
it was definitely like a journey of like self-discovery for me, because like I've always felt like, yeah, I would like to do that. I'm a bit afraid of what community perception is gonna be. And I've always like erred on the side of caution to try and reduce risk of me getting exposed to people saying things that I don't like. But the thing is that people online will do things without your consent regardless. They will clip you in unflattering ways. They will talk about you in a sexual way. They will objectify you. And at least this way, that the consent is there. I have autonomy over what I get to put out. It also, it prevents people from doing the thing like clipping the ass and all of this stuff, because they actually have a space now where this content actually exists. They don't need to keep adjusting the contrast on my clips to try and see a fucking little sliver of my nipple, it's
but they'll do that though, right? Like, people will do that.
Yeah, and it's invasive, right? But now I have control over that, and that makes me feel much better. And I also get to be fairly compensated for that, which is also very nice. And like you said, like, it makes me feel, it gives me so much more confidence. Like, I was just playing Valorant literally 10 hours a day, and my hair was in a bun, and I wasn't wearing any makeup. And now sometimes I'm like, I've got some makeup. I might put on a sexy outfit. I might take a couple pics, and I'm like, yeah, I'm hot. What up?
Yeah, absolutely. Full on to do it. I love that so much. So where did the want for Valorant come in? Because you said you went from World of Warcraft. Did you go from World of Warcraft to Valorant? Because that's very different, right?
Yeah, I play games like pretty much exclusively with one person, and he plays Valorant as well sometimes. So I was like, all right, I'll give this game a go, and he's really good at it. So I was like, I want to learn how to be good at this. I'm gonna play the healer character. So we just grinded it really, really hard, and I just sort of fell in love with it. But before that was playing I play like a bunch of other FPS games like Call of Duty and stuff, but they're kind of shit these days. So I really, really like Valorant.
Okay.
And it's got hot girls in it, so you can't go wrong.
This is also true. Valorant is one where Fortnite was my first shooter game, like,
Mm-hmm.
ever. And when I started playing it, like, 3 or 4 years ago, I was absolute trash. Like, somebody would
Yeah.
shoot me, and I would get jump scared, and I would, like,
Yeah, I still
scream.
get jump scared, by the way.
Same. But, like, for me, I can't play COD because I'm like, it's so the war scene is just so depressing to me, and I'm like, I would rather play a fun themed game that's a
Yeah.
shooter game. So that's kind of why I think I gravitated towards Fortnite. But Valorant,
Yeah.
I don't get the magic part of it, like how everyone's got their own skill and how
Yeah,
they
so
use it in
like
their
there's
benefit.
like a whole story. Like I got really knee deep into like a TikTok series explaining the
Oh.
lore of this game. Like you know when you're sat on the toilet and you're like, all right, I've got to go through all the parts, right? And and I was like they're all like hunting for this kind of material that has given them these kind of powers. And
Oh.
there's like alternate universes. That's why they end up fighting each other because the universes are trying to fight for the resource. So there's like an alpha and
Oh.
omega versions of themselves, and they're all trying to fight to get this resource that's given them like technological advancements, and that's how some of them
Okay.
have the powers. It's because they found this resource. So I was like, oh, that's really cool. I'm really into the story.
See, like, I find it difficult to rely on fills because I know that Valorant is
Mm-hmm.
very, if you don't have like a 5 stack, basically,
Mm.
you're very reliant on fills.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw your tweet the other day about um just basically somebody being super toxic
Oh
in
my gosh,
your
yes. On
lobby.
my ranked game. Oh my gosh, that was my first ranked game of the day, and I can't believe I got
The
told that.
first
But
one, oh my
yeah,
goodness.
it can be really, really bad. In the sense that like if you are playing ranked, then there is going to be like a need to fill sometimes for a certain particular role.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am a one trick pony. I insta lock my character every single time, but my character is a support character, so usually people aren't mad if you're insta locking
Oh,
a
I
character
see.
that actually helps the team rather than a self sufficient fragger. But
Oh, okay.
but yeah, definitely people do have to fill sometimes. But I'm more on the side of I want everyone to play what they're comfortable with, and you know what, we'll just make do. You know, we'll try our best with whatever tools we have. And if you enjoy your character and you're good at playing that character, you play it a lot, you're probably going to be better than that on that character
Mm-hmm.
than you would be on a character you have to fill with. So that's usually my stance. But yeah, I mean, regardless if you are playing competitive in any game, I don't know what the competitive scene is like on Fortnite, but I'm sure that there are similar situations that you encounter with toxic people.
You could be, it really depends. Like, sometimes you get nobody with a mic, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you get somebody with a mic and they're okay,
Yeah.
or you get the toxic people. But
Yeah.
I try and do fills like as little as possible. I will literally play a solo if I have to. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah, it can be like that. You never know what you're gonna get. But I try to keep like a positive outlook on it, and when I talk to when I like go into every game, I say hi to everybody, and I try to keep it as positive as humanly possible. Until someone's toxic, and then I'll go ham. But
that's right.
usually, you know, kill them with kindness kind of works because sometimes it's more embarrassing for them if they try and hit me with toxicity after I've been especially
Like,
kind
super
to them,
nice.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you have games where you just like meet absolute gems and they're so nice and they have like a
Yes.
lasting impact on you where you're like, oh, you know, that person was so nice. I really enjoyed playing with them. Maybe I'll add them and I'll play another game with them sometime. You know,
Oh,
sometimes
okay.
you get those. So it's just hit and miss. It's just hit and miss.
Absolutely. So, non-game or art related, but like, what's your favorite food right now? Do you have a
Oh my
favorite
gosh, my
food?
favorite food. That's so hard. There's so many foods I actually really
Oh,
like. God,
okay,
I
like
love
top
food.
three?
Okay, so I'm really obsessed with this breakfast that my partner's making at the moment, which is basically like it's like a poached egg on a bagel with bacon and avocado
Mm.
and halloumi. And we have it literally every morning and it's like I wake up looking forward to it and he makes it every single day.
What's halloumi? What is this, a sauce or
Halloumi,
something?
halloumi cheese. Halloumi. Like
Oh,
it's like a fried cheese. You like it's like really thick and rubbery and you fry it and it's like it's really fucking tasty. Get halloumi. It's
okay.
like something like cheese from Cyprus. Yeah, halloumi. 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 So
Okay.
nice.
I'll have to,
It's just
I've never even heard of it,
delicious.
but
It's
okay.
cheese. It's so good. But you have to fry it. You have to fry it.
And does it like soften the cheese? Is that what happens?
Yeah, it's like really thick and rubbery, and you just cut off slices of it and chuck it in a frying pan and wait until it goes like kind of golden on the side, and it's really delicious. So that's my favorite thing at the moment is literally that breakfast.
For me, I don't really think I have anything favorite at the moment, but I will always love. I get this bento box from a place called
Hmm.
Spring Moon, like Japanese
Okay.
bento box,
Uh-huh.
and it got like teriyaki salmon and tempura shrimp and the
I
little
love
California
tempura
rolls.
shrimp.
So
Mm,
good. Like, and they've got like
nice.
the yams and the zucchini and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably my go-to, I think.
Mm, that
But
sounds really, really good. I'm a
mhm.
sucker for tempura shrimp.
You like
Like,
sushi then, or just
um,
tempura shrimp?
I like mostly tempura, but there are some sushis that I like. I try to stay away from like I like the rolls more than I would like the sashimi. Um, but I have a love for tempura.
Mm.
I
There's
love for
something about the
tempura.
like soft, crispy batter, right? Like it's like a light batter, not anything
Yeah.
thick.
It's not
But
heavy, it's just a really tasty. There's like a market stall outside my house that does like Japanese tempura and
oh, nice.
like
So
a
it's
lot of
really
like sushi
close.
that was like really, really
Yum.
good. Or like katsu curries. So
What's a cat?
nice.
I've never had
A
a
katsu
katsu curry.
curry?
Yeah.
Katsu curry. Katsu is like it's kind of like a breaded like protein. Um, and so that I don't know what it even is in a katsu curry actually. Let me Google it. But it's just really really tasty. Okay,
Okay.
katsu curry. Let's see. Um, yeah, so usually I get like a chicken katsu curry sometimes from there, which is also really, really good. But it's kind of like
Hmm.
a breadcrumbed chicken in a specific type of curry sauce with the rice or noodles. It's really good.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, we
Sounds
love. What is
good.
your favorite food?
Um, that is definitely a tough one. I don't even know what my favorite food is. For a while, I got really obsessed with the I can't remember the name of it, but we went to an anime convention and
Mm-hmm.
they had a booth selling ramen. Like literally they
Okay.
looked like packs of Mr. Noodles and it was a specific brand and I can't remember. And I
Okay.
got so obsessed with it. I would eat at least one or two packs a day. And I'm like
Really?
people were like you should probably not. That's a lot of sodium and I'm like by the end of the day my ankles were starting to swell and I'm like that's probably
Oh
not a good
man,
sign.
that's really funny. I have a neighbor that lives two doors down, and she's like this tiny, adorable Indonesian girl. And she comes over here and she's like, honey, I want to make ramen, but I can't make it in my kitchen because it steams up. So she just comes
Oh,
here and she just makes ramen here. And then
does she? Did you
yeah, we just sit
steal
and have
some from
ramen.
her?
Yeah, like
Nice.
she just makes it for all of us. Like the other day we made like 8 portions of ramen. And so we make a huge amount. She's like making like the bone broth here and everything. Like it's all homemade. It's super good. So
Oh my
sometimes we
god.
have
I
like
bet that smells
amazing ramen
amazing.
here. It's
Mm.
so good. It's so good. She just like knows exactly what she's like literally this little tiny cute Asian girl like just making ramen. It's so picturesque. I love
Oh,
it.
I love that you just like you're like, come on in, like here's my
Yeah, like
kitchen
she comes
and
over and we like make food together. We like order takeout sometimes. And she comes over and just eats it here, so we can
oh, that's
hang
so
out.
nice. I feel like
Yeah.
our neighbors are so like I honestly we have never like done anything specifically to our neighbors,
Hmm.
but we have loud cars and I
Aw.
feel like that automatically like pits us as
Yeah.
like the asshole neighbors even
Right.
though we're not doing anything intentionally or like
Yeah.
doing it in the middle of the night or anything. But I
Hmm.
wish I had like a neighbor I could be like, "Hey, if you're cooking any extra supper, can I have some or something?" You
She
know what I mean?
actually she makes dinner all the time because she's like cooking for her boyfriend as well, and she's
Oh,
like,
I
"Honey, I
see.
made extra food. I left it in a box outside your door." And
That is
she
so
just like makes me dinner all
sweet.
the time, or like so we're kind of like we're like really good friends at this point. I think we're going out together tomorrow night. So and her boyfriend plays Valorant with us sometimes too.
Oh, okay.
So we're all like gaming or like eating together or doing something. So it's quite cool having a really nice neighbor. Like we're like neighbor besties.
That's all. So like I what I love about that is sometimes I feel like being a because you're a full-time content creator, right? You don't have another job outside of this. So I feel like sometimes it could be very lonely. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So for you to have that connection with somebody who's like genuine in your life is kind of, I feel like that's almost a recharge at the same time. You know what I
I think
mean?
it's important to have friends outside of like your like content creator friends
Mm-hmm.
because they're usually grounded in a different way. And they can bring you back to reality sometimes.
Mm.
Like because with like content creator friends, you might be like, okay, yeah, we can, hang out and we could also, do XYZ and do a collaboration together or whatever, and it suddenly becomes really oriented around work. Whereas
Yes.
like when you have like friends that I guess in we call them IRL friends, right?
Yeah.
Having IRL friends kind of grounds you in a different way, and kind of yes, okay, buddy. Cat's going crazy.
Hi,
It
kitty.
kind of just makes you appreciate a life in a different kind of way, and those
I
connections in
absolutely
a different
do.
kind of way.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
Muggle friends.
Muggle
Yeah,
friends. I was just gonna say Darcel's and Muggle friends.
exactly, exactly. Amazing.
It's true though. I feel like everybody needs those. And I like for me, I also find that I isolate a lot. Like even though
Yeah,
I have a lot of I know a lot of people, I should say, that are creators, but even having like these moments, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to
of
me and
course.
talking about like art and being a creator and all the like little things in between. So it's really nice to share that experience together. So thank you very
Of
much.
course. Honestly, I feel like we're very similar in the kind of content that we produce.
I
And
agree.
I have been like an admirer of your stuff. That's why like when he messaged me, I was like, oh, absolutely, I would love to do that.
Oh,
Like I'm a
thank
big fan of your
you.
stuff actually. Like I really really enjoy it. Like I love seeing your shorts where there's just like a clip of like something happening in real life and you're just there like and those like just tickle
I
me like so hard.
They do good, so if you're looking for something to like help, I
They're so
recommend it because
funny.
like reacts are good, right? Because you
Like it's
could
like the
literally.
tapping like the little water trickling
Oh
down
my
right and you're
God,
like
yes.
so funny. And I'm
Right?
just like I love the
Yes.
humor that you bring to some of your your posts. Like you
Thank
don't take
you.
yourself too seriously. You're all about like laughs as well. Whilst also really passionate about the creative endeavors that you follow. So I just think that's really cool. So I
Oh,
really
thank
resonate with
you.
that. So when I see that happening, I'm just like, that was yeah, I like that. I stand that kind of shit. It's real fun.
Thank you. I definitely I feel like as a creator, you can't like if you take yourself too seriously, I feel like I, I don't know. I feel much more free when I don't take myself
Yeah,
seriously.
me
Do you know what I
too.
mean? Like
Me
when I
too.
when I did that silly like Vegeta where I
Yeah, oh my
recreated the
gosh.
Vegeta one,
Right?
that
Yeah,
made my heart so happy. I was like, I
right?
know this is weird as fuck. I know
It's
I'm
so
not a
funny though.
dude. It is funny, I
It's so
think.
funny though. Like this fucking Vegeta like ask him, you're just like posing so fucking golly, like tickles me. I just love that for you. I love that you're so carefree. I love that you
Thank
don't
you.
like take yourself so seriously. And I love that I love seeing it. So you know that when other people see it, they're just smiling and having a
Oh,
good time.
thank
Like they're like,
you.
oh, Gina's at it again with some fucking stupid shit. It's really good.
So, do you think that you would ever paint yourself or cosplay as a male character? Because that's one thing that, like,
Hmm.
I find most people don't care, but there's definitely a crowd that takes it and puts a weird spin on it. They're like, why do
Hmm.
you need to do a man? And I'm like, why does it bother you? Because, like, it doesn't bother
Yeah.
me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care if I dress up as a man or a woman. It's just fun to me. But they take it and they're
Hmm.
like, why do you want to be a man? Like, why are you making this weird?
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
mean, there
my.
are some people that do like the gender bends so good, and
Mm,
usually I take the male characters and I just make them women.
that's
And
fair.
I think that's because I really enjoy like how sexy sometimes I get to feel. So I
Yes.
like so that's why I don't like doing horror kind of makeups as much as I like to do like sexy girl transformations because I just like having a moment with myself where I'm like, yeah, like fucking so sex, like so cute, like I'm
Yes,
about
though.
that. So yeah, I don't know. So maybe that's kind of what leads me because I just think hot women are peak. I'm all about hot women. I'm here for them
Yes.
all. I worship them all. I love them all. And then I'm like, man, bleh. You know, right?
I know what you mean.
I'm like, I'm here for the hot women.
It's funny you say that because like I have a plan. I do have like so I am very fortunate in the fact that my husband Kyle will literally, for the most part, he supports everything that I want to do. I was like, I basically need a cosplay closet downstairs because I have baskets of personal clothes, and then I've got other like cosplay shit and things that I buy to be able to just throw my outfits together, because sometimes that's literally an outfit is just a whim, like, oh, I think these things will look good together today. But I have a section where it's like, these are my they're sort of pre-planned cosplays, but at the same time, I need to be, like, in the mood. But I have, like, I want to do, like, a sexy Kakashi, like a femme Kakashi. Yes. And I want to do, like, a femme Jiraiya and a femme Orochimaru. So, like, I totally feel like the gender bend, there's something about taking a man and turning it into a sexy woman that
it's just so fun.
It is. It's absolutely fun. Yes.
It's so fun. Like, I mean, obviously with Naruto, like, Naruto kind of already had a sexy jutsu female counterpart, but but I think there are other characters that I've done that I've made women. I'm just like, I just love making them sexy. Like, and maybe there's something to be said about the audience predominantly wanting to see you turn into a sexy woman too, and that obviously kind of gears the way that I think about it. But I personally I love cute women, and I love painting cute women. I love being a cute woman. I love celebrating everything that is like sexy girls. I'm about
absolutely. And you're absolutely a sexy, adorable woman. So you pull it off every single time.
Thank you. Oh, shucks.
True though. There's also seeing how people choose to gender bend gives insight into people's creativity. This is also true because sometimes that vision doesn't exist and you're basically putting it into existence. So I absolutely agree.
Yeah, and it was like that was really fun for me about like the Naruto paint specifically, because I hadn't seen anybody else do a Naruto female paint ever. I don't think I'd even seen anyone do a Naruto one full stop, but I'm sure it'd been done, but specifically female. That one for me was like, okay, well now I get to try and like take other elements from other characters and try and see how they could translate into like a femme Naruto. So that was kind of cool because it was my design, I mean, obviously I'd yoinked parts from different characters, but overall I had to put that together myself.
Absolutely. It definitely, like, you take those little pieces of inspiration and put it together for like your final look. Yeah.
Right. And I really enjoy that. That's a lot of the fun for me.
Let's see. It's like when you see a woman rocking a power suit, it's like taking an authority that wasn't initially meant for a woman and being like, yoink, it's mine now. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like whenever a woman takes something and just makes it hers anyways, like, if it's something that you feel confident wearing, whether it's that suit or something that you've designed or put together, like, obviously confidence is key, but knowing you created it or knowing that you're like making a statement in it, I feel just adds so much.
It does. It adds like a lot of like emotional significance.
I don't know if there was any other I didn't see any questions come up in chat, which is okay. Greetings from Germany. Hi Warbeard. Hi Mars, how are you? Say hi to people in chat now that we're kind of near the end.
I know they've been neglected during podcast time.
I know, sorry. I was like, okay, normally I'm really bad for like talking to chat in the middle of like all the time, so I had to like purposely leave it for the end.
Yeah, but it's kind of like that too, because I can't help myself when I see those chat messages, and I'll be like on a call with friends playing games and stuff, and I'll be talking to chat at the same time. So I'm like, I have to know that people don't mind that I'm gonna neglect them mid call to talk to chat.
Yes, absolutely, I agree. Podcast is a different dynamic. It's understandable. Well, thank you. Because normally we're in like the middle of a game and I'll be talking to chat, but then something in the game happens and I will stop mid-conversation to like finish a fight or I die or whatever.
Right, you gotta focus. It's hard to like separate your focus to those things sometimes, because I notice like when I play FPS games especially, I'm playing them really, really badly when I'm playing on stream. I mean, I'm playing them really badly full stop, but but especially so on stream.
It's funny you say that because sometimes Kyle and I now Fortnite's got duo ranked zero builds. I'm really hoping they come out with more zero build ranked because for us we're not close to any of the servers, so our ping is usually anywhere from like 30 to 60, and that's not good in builds. It's okay in zero builds, but when we play it offline, I'm like, that was like the best game I've ever played, and nobody saw it.
Nobody
You know what I mean?
There's no evidence, right?
There's no record of it besides like all my friggin'.
My God, no one was ever there to see me. I'll never be able to do it again.
I hit all those shots.
God, I was so good. Oh, so sad. I really. Wait, sorry, where were you based again?
I'm in Canada. We're actually located, I'm not sure if you're familiar with any of the provinces here, but basically on like the western side, northern Alberta. I don't really know how to explain that,
okay,
but that's where I am.
I want to say Vancouver's near that area, but
so BC, British Columbia, is where Vancouver is. That's like one province to the west of us, basically.
Right.
So
okay.
Yeah. Have you been to Vancouver? Have you been to Canada?
No, I've only passed through the airport.
Oh, okay. That's
unfortunately not. I've never been to Canada. I mean, I've been to the US a few times, but obviously I that's nothing to do with Canada other than the fact you're neighbors. So
I mean, the United States is basically our like underpants. It's fine, right?
Yeah, essentially. Who cares about the United States? I'm Team Canada over here.
Are you planning on going to TwitchCon? I guess
yes.
You guys have you going to the Paris one, or
yeah. So I'm definitely going to be going to the Paris one. I would maybe be interested in doing the US one. I'm not sure 100% yet because I feel like Twitch are really greedy, and they used to give ambassadors free tickets to TwitchCon, and also partners got 50% off, and now no one gets any of that. And I just think that's like really greedy, and also like the state of like the community is very different from the first TwitchCons I went to, where the idea of like bleed purple and like the community aspect of Twitch was very prevalent, and now it's not. Now it feels like it's a business, it's a corporation, and the creators are aplenty, and they're all loud and young and crazy, and everything has to be content, and it doesn't resonate as much with me. But I do love the idea of maybe going to Vegas for a piss up.
I mean, I think we're going because like Vegas though also. So when we went to TwitchCon last year, I feel like I met some people from a different community that I originally started like watching on Twitch. He's a Fortnite player, so I met some people from that community and did a lot of wandering. But I feel like going to Vegas next time, I will probably spend more time going to shows if it's anything like it was last year, because I already feel what you're saying in the sense of it's almost like they're hesitant to give back to their creators, and they want us to show up and spend money while we're there, but yet they already take 50% of anything we get on their platform anyways. So it's such a weird dynamic,
shocking,
really.
Actually, like when you think about it, one of the things that I keep considering is, you know, how we talk about like ad splits and stuff. Like my like ad splits on spicy sites is like it's like 90%. Like that's a huge cut. And on Twitch I have 70%, and everyone else has 50%. And that's like, when I look at the revenue that I make now on other sites versus how much I made on Twitch, it's like a no-brainer. Like, how could they? I just don't understand how they can disrespect you so hard. And I was just grateful that Daddy Twitch gave me 70% at the time. Like, I'll take a
Daddy
Twitch,
Twitch,
please more, you know, like it's, but now I'm like, you know, actually it's just damn disrespectful.
And I feel like that's part of the reason why I've kind of stopped pushing for partner, because Kyle mentioned that to me. He's like, you know, at one point you really wanted it, but now it's like you don't give a shit about it. And really, I used to stream almost every day. It was usually in the evenings because we do have kids, and just the way I always end up streaming is always in the evenings. But even then, I don't feel obligated to do it every night. Now, I love the community. I love gaming on stream every night. I love when I do my body paints on stream. But I just same for me, like OF is the 2080 split. So that has been huge, and I'm like,
Yep.
I don't need to stress about what I'm doing on Twitch
That's
because
how I feel.
the
Yeah.
effort that I put into OF or getting people to my OF various like photo shoots and posting elsewhere is my time is better spent doing those things than necessarily 10 hours a day on Twitch. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it just
Exactly.
yeah.
It's yeah, it's really hard to if you look at it purely from a business standpoint, it's really hard to financially justify sometimes because
Right? Like
the time it takes fostering a community and don't get me wrong, there's a whole different, we're only talking about financials. There is a whole different subset of rewards for fostering a community that we're not
yes.
talking about. But if we're talking
Right.
explicitly financially, it's really seldom worth it. I mean, I'm not gonna go like into the nitty gritties of financials here, but it's negligible compared to the revenue that you can get elsewhere if money is the only factor. Obviously,
Right.
streaming is very different because fostering community is like a labor of love, and it's also makes me feel like a proud mama, and I get to make so many new friends, and it's very fulfilling
Yes.
emotionally.
Yes.
Um, but emotions doesn't always put food on the table.
Absolutely. I agree. Like when you start a game and you see or you start your stream, sorry, and you see like I love seeing the same people come back.
Me
I
too.
mean,
Me
obviously you
too.
love meeting new people and people that come in and they're like, "Oh, I'm new here, but I really like the vibes," or "This was whatever, they liked it." But having those people come back, I know the word parasocial gets thrown around on like the internet a lot right now, but like
Hmm.
even though I can't always put a face to a name, like I do love seeing these people come
Yeah,
back. You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree. I
Because
mean,
they become friends in some
it's the
way.
same feeling that I have right now seeing Ramboozled in the chat. She's been in my stream for
Oh, that's
longer than I can
awesome.
remember, and I haven't spoken too much about doing a podcast on socials, but I mean, I did tweet it, but she's here, and so like that makes me feel really happy to see that because
Hmm.
there are people in my community who are just like fabulous human beings that I've got to like grow with, and that's really cool. Like, there's one specific situation that I think of when I started streaming. There was a girl. She ended up being like one of my moderators. She was like 13, and she was just so sweet and so cute and so nice. And I've been streaming for so long that many years later, I was able to like buy her a drink at an event.
Wow.
Like because she's like grown up with me, kind of. She's gone from like being like a little teenager to being able to have a drink. Maybe not 13, maybe 14. But
Mm.
yeah, that mean say the same thing. Really, it was just it's so cool to be able to have those relationships. So when I say like Twitch is really fulfilling in a completely different way, I mean it because it makes me feel like really connected to people.
Absolutely, I agree. That's a very sweet note. I feel like we could leave this podcast on. Now,
Hmm.
where your Djarii across all your platforms,
Yes.
DJARRI.
RII. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Djarii on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, yeah, pretty
Spicy
much everywhere. Yeah,
sides.
all of them Djarii.
All
Yeah,
of them,
you'll
perfect.
find me if you type in Djarii pretty much. Other than Facebook, but no one uses Facebook anymore, so we don't care about that. So pretty much Djarii everywhere.
Okay, perfect. I will send you a quick note about Facebook. Facebook is like to me, I feel like Facebook is actually a very unused platform in the sense
Hmm.
of it's a very different demographic on there
Yeah, this is a very different
and
demographic. I just don't know how to use it. Like, I know
okay.
that some cosplayers really utilize Facebook. I know that like Cam Movie Cosplay team told me that they utilize Facebook really, really well.
Mhm.
Um and I don't know how to do it. I just know that moms and dads are on Facebook these days, and I don't use it. I just literally
Mhm.
mirror my Instagram content to Facebook and then call it a day.
Has anything ever like picked so Facebook for us, basically my Facebook page used to be a photography page that I had.
Mm-hmm.
Like I started photography, I think I was pregnant with Cora, and she's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
13 next month, which is kind of crazy. Yeah.
That is
Um
crazy.
so I was pregnant with her when I started photography, and I stopped years ago, and it had like 2,500 fans on it. And when I kind of got back into doing cosplays and all these other things, I started just randomly posting there just to be posting. And a couple of body paints or something started to pop off. So I was like, oh, interesting. Like maybe I'll purposely edit these body paint videos, like whether it was a YouTube video or something, down into like a 3-minute one now and post it on Facebook, post reels, post photos. It eventually got up to like 30,000, and I was like, holy shit, like that's kind of
It's
crazy.
popping
And
off.
then I had one reel, it was one of those like silly react ones that I do, like
Yeah.
literally pop off, which probably doesn't happen often. It was like to the tune of something crazy like 48 million overnight type thing.
Wow.
And that was like the beginning of the real growth, because now it's up to like 370,000 something.
That's
And it like
insane.
it is insane. I mean, nowadays I feel like followers, like a lot of social media apps rely on algorithm versus followers. Like I'll use an app and I'll never see anybody that I follow, and I'm like, I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Like what's the point of following anybody? But
Right.
I really think we could also continue this conversation through
Yeah, I
message
would love
later,
to, I would love
but
to know if
Facebook
anything.
has been
That sounds
great for us.
that
Yeah.
sounds really, it sounds really fascinating. I'm obviously not like utilizing all my social media to the max. So yeah,
No, but
hit me with your
yeah, no, it's
with your
definitely like
tips.
a try and learn thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes some platforms pull more than others,
Yeah,
and that rotates, I feel like. Because at one
that's
point I
really
feel
cool.
everybody was trying to push TikTok, but like for some reason TikTok fucking hates me in every phone I ever use, and I'm like, I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah,
I
TikTok is
really
an enigma.
mm-hmm. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
then Facebook kind of popped off for us, so that
Okay,
was
well,
a
yeah,
hidden
hit me with your
gem.
tips. I would love to hear them. I would love to
Cool.
know.
Yeah, Darcel said pull them Facebook boomers. I mean,
Yeah,
listen.
honestly, that was my like perspective. I'm like, yeah, Facebook is just like dads and moms, right? And I try to avoid dads and moms. Maybe
Well,
like elderly dads and moms that are like, oh my god, all these people coming to our country or whatever, some weird like takes. I'm like, okay, I don't think I could be dealing with like Karens or whatever.
oh, Danny says Queen Glitter Chaos is a friend of mine. Her name is
Hmm.
Danny. She said boomers are more likely to watch ads. And interestingly enough, if we
True.
if we talk about demographics, like people who are older generally have better income than people who are
That is
younger.
true.
So
That
a
is
lot of the
true.
people who end up on my spicy sites are more, I don't know. A lot of the times they're anonymous, but sometimes they tell me like how old they are, and it's
Sometimes.
usually the older generation, and that's okay
How
with me
funny.
because like they're
Yeah,
looking at
it's
me, I'm
different.
not necessarily looking at them type thing.
Exactly.
And I don't, it's been good for me because like I said,
Oh
I
yeah,
price my page
exactly.
probably a little bit higher than some other people. Like that's the other thing I love about the spicy page is you can
Yeah.
post what you want. You basically moderate it how you
Moderate
want,
it how
and you
you
can
want.
price it how you want too. So like
Yeah.
if someone doesn't want to pay your fees, I've had people complain to me before, but I'm like, that's okay. Like
I'm
there
like,
are
it's
cheaper
okay. It's not
people.
in your budget. That's fine, honey. You don't have to buy it.
Exactly. Exactly.
I would love to just like chat the shit sometime about this. Obviously, not on Twitch because I know that they're a bit sensitive about how much you say about these sorts of sites and stuff. But
Yeah,
we could
absolutely.
definitely take a call sometime and chat the shit about it all.
Yeah, I'd love that because that's definitely another like depth of experience that we could talk about.
Mm
So,
hmm. Mm hmm.
Ron says, "Are
100%.
you calling me old?" I don't
Are
know.
you on
Am I
Facebook,
older
Ron? Yes.
than
No, I'm
he
just
is?
kidding.
Definitely. I think he
I'm just
found
kidding.
my page on Facebook, so probably.
That's funny. That's really funny. I love that. No, there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with that. It's just
Oh,
funny.
Darcel made an interesting point though. They are trained to watch ads. Technically, they grew up in the time of commercials. I sort of did too, in
Trained.
some
I
way.
love that they're like brainwashed into accepting ads, and we're like
Yes.
the generation of okay, we
Let's fast
the internet
forward.
began and
Skip.
we were ad blocking from the beginning. But yeah, very judgmental takes is what I kind of usually garner from Facebook. I'm like, okay, I can't deal with, somebody who can't do their research on something and they just make really judgmental takes. I'm too tired for that.
This is true. I feel like most of the feedback I get is positive, but
That's good.
it definitely is hit and miss where you'll always get the like incel behavior on any platform, I suppose, but
yeah.
which is
100%, 100%. But
oh my god, Darcel said Facebook is where I go when I want a fight. I try not
like
to
that.
look for fights, but
it's like that. I have a friend and I always like joke at her because I'm like, you spend way too much time on Facebook, like, and she would like end up arguing with people on like a ragdoll page, and I'm like, you don't need to argue with these people. They don't care about what you have to say, and their opinion won't change. How much, and and you. I'm also guilty of fighting people on Twitter, right? I'm like, I'm fighting the good fight. I'm fighting for feminists everywhere.
But like, I get it though, because sometimes you really feel like you need to say your piece. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes just to put it out there, and then even if you never respond to it ever again, you've kind of like, this is what I have to say, and that's it. Like I'm not exchanging any more energy
Twitter at the moment. I need to peel it back. Because yesterday I was like, I'm not enjoying this anymore. Like I have a lot of opinions, and I appreciate that not everybody agrees with me, but I'm right, so fuck off.
Yes.
I'm so obstinate.
But there's nothing wrong with that. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like when you are opinionated, you'll attract the people who have the same opinions as you. And I mean, you will probably also attract the people who have the opposite stance with the same amount of passion. Do you know what I'm saying? You will definitely attract those people too, but
yeah, no, you're right. Fighting for it means that all of my followers are like LGBT friendly, really supportive, non-judgmental, welcoming people that fight for women's rights and marginalized peoples, then I'm here for it.
Yes, we love that.
Me too.
Twitter is the Shadowland. Twitter can be an absolute fucking cesspool sometimes, but it literally depends on, I guess, who you follow, your feed, the algorithm. But I do find Twitter weird sometimes, where it seemingly pushes things that is very conflicting and controversial. Like, why is it
doing that a lot
pushing
lately?
those?
Like,
yes,
why
I've
do I
noticed
keep
that.
getting like recommended tweets for me that are just like really weird right-wing takes?
Yes,
And
I'm like,
I didn't
they're
sign
trying
up
to
for this.
trigger me, right? Like
They're
they're
actually trying. Like I literally I was on Twitter. I fuck you not, like literally 2 days ago, and I'm like, why is this person being recommended to me? They're literally like a known misogynist, like known
oh my god,
like hate speech kind of person, and their tweets are being presented to me. Like Twitter is actually just trying to fuck with me right now.
I guess controversy does get engagement, and that's the point of the algorithm, but at the same time, I specifically remember Elon tweeting something saying like, oh, we're trying to keep this a positive space, and we're gonna try and like suppress the negativity, and I feel like it's been the complete opposite.
It's totally the opposite.
Saying, so.
I mean, if anything, I think that you can see which side Elon fights on. He makes it pretty obvious.
Yes.
He makes it pretty obvious, and that is just what it is. And unfortunately, it's kind of hard for us to fight against the billionaire overlords.
Yes. Oh my god, Darcel, I could eat Elon for breakfast. He probably wouldn't taste very good, just saying.
It probably would not taste good at all.
Good at all, but...
Not tasty, confirmed.
All right, well, if there's no questions in chat, and I feel like we've had I've definitely, taken up a lot of your time. I appreciate you so much.
No, you're totally fine. I've had so much fun. I have had
Good.
so much fun with everybody. And I honestly, I could talk to you for like 2 more hours easily. So
we could do that another day though. Like
I would love to. Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's do it. Absolutely. It's been so fun. And like I said, I'm just a huge fan of your content stuff. So I was really happy to
thank
be
you.
here.
The feeling
Thank you very
is
much
mutual.
for having me.
Of course. Thank you.
My pleasure to be here.
Okay. Well, what you can exit the call like now if you like. All you have to do is leave your tab open and it'll automatically
finish uploading. Yeah, I see it's on 99%, so I can wait for the other 1%, no problem. But thank you everybody in Twitch chat who were very lovely and wonderful listening to us. And yourself, Geena, I hope that you guys all have a wonderful day. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Djarii. I hope you have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Bye. You guys, that was so awesome. Oh, I love her so much. You guys. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Darcel. Where is, hold on one second. I want to say thank you because Djarii said there was somebody here who came from her chat and I want to ramboozled. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you came. You know, it is so fun and so interesting to see the inside, I guess. Like, maybe I'm not asking the right questions yet, and I'm working on that, but I definitely love digging into anything creative, especially with another creator. So thank you so much, Djarii, for joining me today. You guys can find her across all platforms as Djarii, DJARII. And I will see you guys later. I love opinions and conversations. This is great. Podcasting is a dub. Glad you're starting it. Thank you, B. Thank you very much. Also, I saw your resub. Thank you for that. There was another resub I missed. I apologize, but that's just the way the podcast kind of goes sometimes. So let's see. Ron, thank you for subbing with your Prime. This is also going to be available on Spotify and also YouTube. The video will be available to be rewatched tomorrow. Next week, I'm going to be having B-Horse on the stream. It's going to actually be, instead of a morning podcast, it's actually going to be a late evening podcast, just so we could get our schedules lined up. That's going to be next Thursday. I'm really excited to talk to B-Horse because B-Horse actually started out as somebody in our community, and him and I kind of have some funny stories together, and now he streams mostly Tarkov, a few other things, but he's doing really great as a creator himself now, so it's going to be really cool to have him and chat with him. Thank you again for coming to hang out today. I'm always the worst at saying goodbye. I'm really good at rambling. But thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. It's been really fun. This was episode number 2 of Probin with Geena. Bye, homies. I love you. Love you. See you. Bye.